What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. And when nobody's talking about your product anymore, I guess there are a lot of things that people will do to desperately get back into the headlines. I don't know if you're my age and also a male or not, but the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition used to actually be something. It used to be something that I suppose some women, but men looked forward to. It was a huge subscription driver for Sports Illustrated, and was full of beautiful women, which we now know is problematic. If we listen to Bud Light and other companies, this cannot stand. You cannot simply be a beautiful woman. That doesn't exist. You can't do that. So now that Sports Illustrated, nobody really cares about it anymore because most of the sports media has decided to get political. They instead put a biological man on the swimsuit edition cover and then an 81-year-old criminal. Yes, Martha Stewart. Everyone pretends that she isn't a criminal and that she's didn't insider trade and screw over people. But Martha Stewart is a criminal and the kind of the worst kind. This is what Sports Illustrated is doing. Of course, they're getting absolutely roasted for it. Here's the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Twitter account that is paying $1,000 a month to exist on Twitter with 494,000 followers. This tweet, featuring the new Swimsuit Edition cover model, has 300 likes. As if being a Grammy Award-winning artist and history maker wasn't enough, history maker. That's yeah. So this is the first time ever in history that any woman's ever done anything. Buy our stuff. Add the SI cover to her list of accomplishments. Yeah, right next to an 81-year-old Martha Stewart, whom, if I had to choose between, would be the easiest choice in my life. Some of the replies: 1.3 million views, by the way, 300 likes. She's a guy. How demeaning to real women. You're disgusting. A man dressed as a woman, hard pass. I'll go to Outkick for non-woke sports news. P.S. You just took another job from a woman. His accomplishments. Why this sudden push by media to feature biological men in women's spaces? Couldn't you find an actual woman to put on the cover? The speed at which this whole deal is getting insanely gnarly is absolutely breathtaking. The war on women continues. There is not a single. There's not a single. Where's all the comments suggesting it? Kim is a cover model in the same way that four dudes playing Hey Jude might be a cover band, but they definitely aren't the Beatles. Pretending to be the real thing ain't the real thing. Here's another woman. Oh, look, it's Sports Illustrated canceling women. Guess they think men can replace us. This is a man. And by the way, many of the people roasting them are men. Are women. Women have had enough. And it's just like, if you look at the quote, disgusting, his list of accomplishments, he can buy implants and a swimsuit, but is still not a woman. This is a man. What's even happening? Makeup on a pig. This is a man cosplaying as a woman. I mean, I will continue to not buy her magazine. This may have been the last one I remember buying. Tyra Banks. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I mean, there isn't a... So, like, who is this for? There isn't an inherent... Even people are, like, towing the woke line. There isn't an inherent issue with trans person being on the magazine cover. But Sports Illustrated obviously doesn't know their audience if they think that this is going to be a hit among straight male sports fans. I guess they didn't learn from Bud Light. I mean, there's just, like... It's so wild to me that, like... Well, it's things are changing. People are pushing back. We saw this with Bud Light. Kim Petras has been breaking barriers since releasing their first single, I Don't Want It At All. Never heard of it. Never heard of this person. Never heard of the song. I'm not sure what exact barriers have been broken. I suspect Spotify crammed it to the top of the list and YouTube put it in the algorithm and Twitter, if forced it at that time. I don't know. This is a biological man with implants. I don't think that men are going to be super interested. Here's what's probably going to happen. these they're going to say, well, these covers were just special for this, that, or the other thing. Now, Sports Illustrated can put this biological man on the cover. That's fine. I don't think anyone's actually buying that magazine anymore. But it's just yet another biological man taking spot away from women. Look at what's happening, here with these this sorority. University of Wyoming sorority sisters say they live in fear.
All of the bathrooms are shared spaces. There are about 3, 4 if you count the guest bathroom. And they are shared spaces. There are no private changing areas for when you shower. There are no locks on the showers. And it's very open and vulnerable.
Oh my goodness. And this person's moving into the sorority house next year?
What's interesting about that, Megan, is that there has been an exemption granted for him, for his safety, but not for these young women.
This is, women are out there. I'm really proud of them. Women fighting back. 7 sorority sisters at Kappa Kappa Gamma who are suing the University of Wyoming have broken their silence of Megyn Kelly. Good. They should sue them for everything they have. The 7 women from Kappa Kappa Gamma House have filed a lawsuit against the University of Artemis Langford, and Artemis Langford, a 21 6'2", 260-pound trans student who joined their chapter in September 2022. Langford, referred to under the male pseudonym Terry Smith in the suit, has been living outside the sorority house and was expected to move in the coming year, according to Cowboy Slate Daily. However, the student who is referred to as he and him in the suit still often stays for meals and attends events with the women, their attorney told Megyn Kelly on the podcast Monday. It's a weird, gut-wrenching feeling every time I have to leave my room and there's a possibility I'll walk past him in the hall, one of the sorority sisters says. It's a weird feeling just to know that I could run into him at any time. He has full access to the house, but this just goes to show, we need women's spaces for that reason. Our house is our home, just like anything else. Also, there's some situations. Another student in this situation is particularly distressing because some of the sisters have been harassed and want to feel safe inside their home. So some girls live in constant fear in their home. And this is supposed to be our safe space. It is seriously an only female space, and it's different than living rooms or dorms or for instances where men and women commingle on floors. That's not the case in a sorority house. We share just a couple of main bathrooms and an upstairs floor. This picture. Why do all these women have to indulge this? I just don't understand. There's also things here. The individual still comes to the house, still engages in dinner, still sits in the chair and watches the girls. And that they've become visibly aroused. All this kind of stuff. And it puts women in these weird spots where they're they can't really speak out for their own safety or their own opinions because they're branded homophobic or transphobic or any one of these other things that can cost you your career. So Sports Illustrated wants to drum up a bunch of press. Great. Now, I don't think a single person in my audience is going to be like, sweet, I'm going to buy this cover. I mean, you're going to be able to get tons of these down the road, not that long down the road. You'll see them all shredded up for a hamster cage betting. I mean, that's where this stuff goes. Nobody's going to go buy the swimsuit edition for this. None. In fact, I mean, I'm a big fan of this. You're not making history. You're just another cog in the machine. You're just yet another Dylan. You're another biological man invading women's spaces. Now, if the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated had featured men in Speedos for the past 10 years, or biological men in there too, let's say it was, for both of their fans, well, you could make that argument. But I'm pretty sure that the demographic of people that subscribe to Sports Illustrated are probably somewhere near 95% men and dentist offices. And the 5% of women probably aren't super pumped about this either. So great job, Sports Illustrated. Really happy to see you. By the way, also shout out to these sorority girls who are fighting for their female-only spaces. 100% support them and I wish them all the best. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.